January 6, 2022.
2022.
That was when I had my experience. The before me and the after me are two different people. I'm a walk-in.
You're a walk-in? Wow. Wow.
That's not what I don't tell a lot of people.
Hello, people.
Until now. Apparently.
Wow.
Yeah, we had some talks about whether or not I should say it out loud.
You had some talks. Time. Yeah, yeah. Wow. I'm so excited to talk to you.
Hey.
You're walking, talking, walking.
The before me was just a regular lady. I would say I was a completely ordinary woman who had something extraordinary happen, but it's all planned.
Yeah, what could you paint us a picture of, like?
Sure.
Of like a day in the life of
just old me.
Older you, yeah.
I was married. I got a divorce 4 years ago, so it was 2 years before the experience. The total solar eclipse that happened a few years ago, 2017, went directly over my house. And I feel like that was an initiation into this next iteration of this avatar called Jamie. So I lived, the irony is, I lived in a town called Travelers Rest in South Carolina. It was a time of rest and preparation. I just didn't realize it and at the time.
Yeah, you were in it. You were in the experience.
I was in the experience of just this material world. I'm still a mom. My kids are in their 20s now. And just try to do like dinner every night and get up and go to work and do it all over again. Just the same thing over and over again. And I really didn't spend a lot of time contemplating why I'm here, what the universe means, is there God? Like that just was not really anything that ever played into my day-to-day life.
Could I bring something into? Is that like we're talking to people who are watching this also, who are like, who once were normal and might be having these opening experiences too. So I just want to like invite, and that's not to say anything, to change anything, but like just to like, yes, us.
That actually helps. Because once I had my experience, I came out of it thinking I was so strange and weird and broken.
Yeah.
And I didn't know how would anybody ever love me again. I just felt so odd.
You had no support.
No support at all.
No context for what you were going through.
No context, none of it. I was dating someone who it was not healthy for me to continue in that relationship. So where I was living was out in the country. When you feel like you're at your lowest and you don't know where to go or what to do, God was like the only, I climbed to the top of that mountain, not knowing why I did, but I just asked God for help. Like, how do I get out of this situation that I found myself in and I don't know what to do? And when I came back down the mountain, I had an overwhelming sense that there was a gift for me somewhere. I found like this string was wrapped around trees and I followed the string and it ended at this rock that looks like a parallelogram. And I just had this overwhelming sense that like, that's a special rock. I, at that point, had no idea. I didn't understand like the consciousness of crystals and gems and rocks. I didn't know. I just knew I was supposed to have this rock. And when I got to the bottom of the mountain, there was this family of deer. And they, I don't know, 5 or 6 of them, and they just stood there majestically and stared at me, and it felt very, very holy, very sacred. Fast forward a couple of days, I still have not done the things I'm supposed to do, which is to leave. I hadn't done it yet.
Leave your relationship. Got it.
And I was really disappointed in myself. And a lot of it was just shame and ego, I'll be honest with you. Just extreme shame. So it was at night and I'm lying in the bed and all of a sudden my body just starts to vibrate, and that rock I think was really important. It was like I was on the second floor, it was on the first floor, kind of underneath me. I feel like it gave me a lot of strength that night, but my whole body started to vibrate. It came up and then it went down and like the whole thing, and then all of a sudden it was like a whoosh. It was as if every chakra had just shaken straight into place.
Wow.
And my crown chakra opened, and like this holy light just went poof, right through me. I've never felt stronger or more powerful. It was like an intertwining of another spirit alongside my own. And very clearly from the right side, there was a voice that said, get up and go. This is your chance.
The window's open.
That's exactly. It was as if they did this for me.
Wow.
Pulled apart the fabric of space and time and said, you're it. All you have to do is get up. We love you. You'll be safe. All you have to do is get to the church across the street. It was like 8 o'clock at night. It was dark. There was snow on the ground. Like, none of this made sense. I'm a rational, logical person in a lot of ways. This was irrational. This was the opposite of logical. And all I knew, the only thing that mattered in that moment was to get me to the church where I could be safe. I remember thinking, I'm not fast enough. I'm too tired. I can't make it. It's too far away. And then again, the voice said, you'll be fine. You just hiked a huge mountain 2 days ago. You've got this. All you have to do is get to the steps and you'll be safe. And I did. I got to the stairs. Then I got really scared because I didn't know what to do. It's late at night. I started pounding on the door to the church, like, let me in, please help. And the voice just clearly said, like, look up, there's a key. We have a key for you. Sure enough, I jump up. There's like one little jump. There's a key on a key fob. I've never been to this church my whole life. I let myself in.
Wow.
I go in, I go to the bathroom, I get something to drink, I get a peppermint, I like ring the bell for freedom. And I'm not like a church-going person. I mean, I've been to church, but it's not like something I regularly do. But it felt right, it felt beautiful. The energy was very different from what I consider church to be. And then I heard noises. And I'm telling you all this stuff that I've...
Yeah. Have you told this story before?
I have, but only a few people know the real thing.
Yeah. It's a lot.
So there were 7 police officers that came in. I don't know how they knew I was in the church. I kept telling them that I was seeking refuge in that church. And they kept telling me that I had broken in. And I was saying that, like, you know, that's like the purpose of church, you know, to be a refuge. And they didn't listen. And I've never had the experience where someone would listen to me like that. Like I've always sort of just been the good girl. I've always done what I'm supposed to do. So I refused and I wouldn't leave because I was so afraid. And turns out, Sammy, that what happens when there's 7 officers who want you to leave and you won't, is that you get arrested.
Is that how that?
I was mortified. I couldn't believe I was being arrested. Everything that happened was supposed to happen just the way it did so that I could have not just my awakening, but my near-death experience. So they arrest me and like carry me out of church. And I was freaking out because I was so afraid of the person that I had just gotten myself away from, and now I'm back out and I didn't know what was happening. It was so scary. And they were so mad at me. Turns out if you make the police mad at you, then they are not nice to you. They put me in the back of their king cab truck upside down in the back seat. That's what happened.
Upside down?
Upside down.
Wow.
My hands in cuffs, upside down. My head is turned like that. It was effective. I did stop screaming and freaking out. But then what happened was I couldn't catch my breath because all my weight is crushing like my windpipe. And I kept thinking, like, surely somebody's gonna open the door and put me upright.
Wow.
And then I realized I don't think I have much time left. I can't breathe. I couldn't breathe. And then I realized this overwhelming sense of peace that this was the end, that this is how I
Wow.
go. And I've never had that before in my life. In that moment, all I could think about were my children. Because it's not going to make any sense whatsoever why Mom died in the back of a king cab truck, arrested. That's just not going to make sense. This is going to be really terrible and difficult for my kids. I had this overwhelming sense of peace that everything was going to turn out okay, and that it's actually better on the other side. And I fully let go. Wow. I consciously breathed out my last breath and transitioned over. And I was in a different realm. I was with God and angels. I was. There was an exchange of energy. The soul that was in this body, she was done. Her part was done, and so I'm the one who I'm the one who stayed. So I'm fresh and new to this body. I've only been here 2 years on Earth. This is my first incarnation. Yeah.
You're new to being in a body.
I'm an ancient toddler. These last 2 years, I've been figuring out how to survive on Earth. And the message before I came back into the body was, being human is really hard. That was the message I got. And it was
Welcome to the show.
Are you sure you're okay? And I was like, yeah, I got this. It's not that hard. Holy hell, is it hard here?
Yay, validation.
Oh my God. I had to get an apartment. I had to get, I already had a job, thank God, in a car, but I had to get an apartment. I had to get furniture, all this kind of stuff. And then I moved here, so I only had one friend from college, so I didn't know anybody really. I felt so completely alone. I felt like I didn't know how to do anything. And also like the unpacking and processing of what was a very traumatic experience, trying to unpack all of that. Like it was a lot.
I have questions.
Okay. What?
So the one who is in this body,
Yes.
who most of the time, up until 2 years ago or 2.5 years ago, whatever
Yes.
it was, they are now in a different realm.
Yes.
You came in,
Yes.
like the consciousness that's you
Yes.
came into this body, and you have all the memories of this body.
Yes.
Okay, so you have all the memories.
And the karmic debts.
The karmic debts. Okay.
That's what I've also been processing.
So you just wow. So do you remember, how far back do you remember in your timeline, which is not having been in the body?
Like, how much do I remember heaven?
Yes.
Well, pretty well. So I was left for a few months of like, am I just crazy? Like, is this really what
As you
is
came out of that
happening?
experience. Okay.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
And I was lucky enough because signs and synchronicities are around us always, all the time. So God's talking to us all the time, and your angels are talking to you all the time. I was lucky enough to find this Reiki healer who also does plant medicine, and he did a Reiki session. Then he was like, I think it's time. I think you're ready. And so I smoked DMT. The first thing that happened with me was there was like a heart surgery where they came down and, well, first of all, everything is beautiful, the sacred geometry and everything. And then there was the heart surgery where they came and repaired a lot of the trauma that had happened to this person, like as a child. And then I was admitted to the waiting room with the beautiful purple sofa, you know. And then I got to do like a backstage pass. I got to go behind the curtain, back with with all my peeps.
Wow.
I was back, and they were like, "Oh my God, we're so happy you're here!" And I got to give them all big hugs and tell them how much I miss them. And I cannot wait to go home. I mean, I'm happy to be here for the mission while I'm here, but I can't wait to go home. Also, I can call on them anytime, and I can go home anytime. And when I go to sleep, I go home.
Two questions. Take them as you. But
Okay,
So you said you have a mission. There's a reason you chose to come in here.
Yeah.
You chose to walk in.
Yes.
Oh yeah, and then why did you choose to walk into a body versus be born as a baby?
Yeah, well, that takes a lot of time.
Sure does.
It takes time we don't have.
We all know that one, don't we?
The wisdom that this person has.
I see.
I'm 48.
Yeah.
I've taught for 23 years. I have 2 children. I was married. Like, all this life experience that is so like rich and beautiful that is I'm able to tap into. And also, after 48 years, or 46, I suppose, 2 years ago, you can get real depressed real fast. I'm a high vibrational being in a regular human body. And it's easier to stay high vibrational when you don't have to go through childhood and puberty and all that kind of stuff.
Okay. So it's easier for you to vibrate at the level that you are here to vibrate at, in the way that you're meant to vibrate or want to vibrate.
Yeah.
By doing it this way.
Yes.
Awesome. I got it. We got it.
I have to say this is really weird because I feel like I'm coming out of the closet.
I was getting that sense too. Yeah. And just so you know, as I edit this, I send you the thing, and you get to like totally review it.
Okay.
Fully consent, however it gets.
Yeah. No, this feels right.
Yeah, I'm amazed. I think it's awesome. I had no idea we were going to talk about you or a walk-in, and you didn't exist in this body until 2.5 years ago.
I didn't know when to tell you. Then I was like, I'll just do it on camera.
Cool. Perfect. I mean, yeah, the surprise is. Do it live.
That's the other thing. So my DMT experience was, it's hard. But just like calm the down. It's also so much fun. So here we can like fall in love and make love and eat good food. All these experiences. I was like, for our birthday, I want to go out with a bevy of beautiful women, and I want to wear heels and a dress, and I want to be in buy me a drink at a bar.
Do all the human things.
Yes. And I've been fulfilling like all these. I've been fulfilling all of these beautiful human experiences
that you couldn't know in this way, not on the other side.
Yeah, I wanted to experience it firsthand, the good and the bad.
Is there like an equivalent of like food and sex and?
It's just all love.
Yeah.
So that's why they were like, yeah, but it's so much fun. Because like when you live in just love and happiness and joy and bliss all the time, I don't know. It's like, what a cool... No!
More happiness, I guess. No. What do you want to do today? Have some joy?
We're real busy. You guys need a lot of help. But I think that my mission, I've been working on this, like, what is my mission?
Yeah.
And I think part of my mission, I'm here to help my fellow starseeds remember and to be validated. What you're doing counts and matters. And it's needed and necessary. Well, you know, like a phoenix has to burn first. You know? Before the phoenix
I have been
rise.
burning.
I know.
We have been burning, haven't
burning.
we? Yeah, this is intense.
But...
This is the intensity, of Earth.
But that's what we signed up for.
Yeah.
We're like the experts on this stuff down here now. That's who's left, the experts. You know, It's not our first rodeo. My job the last couple of years has been sort of twofold, like transmuting that pain into beauty. Yeah, that happened, but because that happened, this persona got to learn a lot of beautiful lessons.
True, yes. Like embodied wisdom in the body you're in.
And then my other mission, when I say meditate, sometimes that can be like boring, right? You know? Instead of that, just close your eyes and imagine a better world. What would that look like?
Yeah.
Think about the different systems that are in place that need to be fixed.
Yeah.
And part of my experience was I got to understand firsthand just how broken our criminal justice system is. Yeah. So that's been something I've been imagining. Oh, hi.
We have a visitor, a walk-in.
is just imagining a better world. And so healthcare can be better. Our educational system can be better.
Everything is going to transform
Housing,
into
all of it. Money, all of it. That's what we can do, is just start imagining that better world and then believing that it already exists so that we can step into that timeline together.
And seeing that, I mean, I notice when I vision that, or when I get that inspiration in me, then I start meeting people, right?
Yes.
And then we have these conversations, or I see like an iteration, and like, even if it's a small little shift, this politician actually has a heart open. Like,
right?
What?
What?
Something's really happening here. I feel like connected if we all have that as a practice, or even like tune into that in this moment. What is it? The sun comes out. What does it look or feel like when this world is softened? And that's the mission. And as we envision that, it strengthens, like that manifestation through all of this becomes
exactly. And how incredibly lucky we are to be a part of this mission.
Which is like so rare, so unique in my experience. Like, here on this planet at
right
this
now.
time.
Oh my gosh, we're so lucky.
It's crazy. Sometimes I'm so lucky.
The message I've received recently is that the time for sowing is done. We've been planting and nurturing what we've been planting and everything, and now it's time for reaping. We're moving into the harvesting.
Awesome. That's great news.
Yes, it is. But yeah, we're real lucky.
I want to wind this down, but I think I might need to call you back for another one.
Sure, I'd love to.
And I want to invite, I really want to invite myself and all of the viewers here to like type your questions for Jamie.
Yeah, that'd be great.
And next time we can talk about those questions. I'll bring a sheet and we'll answer them.
That sounds like fun.
For someone who walked into this, I mean, what an amazing thing. I feel so blessed and lucky that you're here.
Thank you.
So great to know you, whoever you are.
I love helping people, so if I can help anyone, if you have a question, I would love to help you.
Thank you so much for being on this channel. I'm Sammy Vanek. This is Jamie. Thank you so much. We love you.
Thank you.
Look at all these dogs.
Oh, hi.
Yeah. That was awesome.
Yeah, dogs and kids love me.